So this truck, ever since I've owned it, the rears tend to lock up, especially if it's sat for a few days, and then the first few times you hit the brakes, they lock up. Typically that's a sign of brake fluid getting onto the shoes on drums. So we're just going to start replacing some stuff. The shoes and the drums itself should be okay, but if the shoes are soaked, obviously we'll have to replace that. So I got a few things in here. I got the rubber brake line that goes, it's a single one coming from the front that then distributes between the two. It's the only rubber line in the back. I got 2 master cylinders, or wheel cylinders I should say, and then we have 2 brake hardware sets. Visual inspection here, there's a ring here. I've never seen this before. I don't know if this like helps hold it for assembly or what. And then it has these 2 slots. They look too perfect to be accidents, so they look machined. So there's 2 different sets of drum shoes for this Chevy trucks. There's smaller size, bigger size. Measured mine, and I believe mine has a bigger size. So let's take this off real quick. Okay, clip out of the way so it's for sure not holding the drum anymore. Progress. Let's give it some wax. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay, we lost the spring. Remember when I said I wasn't planning on getting shoes? Well, this one is so thin, there's like nothing left. This one's thin too. It's okay, but you know, they're both on their way out. This one especially. So we're gonna need shoes, at least for this side. I've already peeked on that side days before when I ordered parts to figure out what size this is. That side perfectly fine, so this was my problem child, but both wheel cylinders were leaking. You can see the gunk coming out. The other thing that can cause a weird brake issue is like the axle seal. If you have a bad wheel bearing that's just blowing axle grease, but I don't see that sort of grease in here. It just looks like we had some failed wheel cylinders, and the fact that I had no brake fluid come out once I undid the bleeder tells me the rubber line is also just clogged up. I got a 3/8 flare nut wrench on it, and we are undoing it, and it's actually loosening. I did spray it with penetrating fluid before attempting this, so this is coming out. Now that we know the line will come out, we can safely remove this without too much worries. So my problem is going to be that since one spring came out, I have no idea where it was. So we're going to have to rely on something on the internet somewhere to tell me where, or the other side, but who knows if the other side's done correctly. So visually looking at it, I think the spring was here, and I think a pin came out for the parking brake. That's what it looks like happened. Okay, we're gonna try some needle nose. And we have to not move the spring, but move the clip that's inside. If you have the special tool, you already know that's cheating. Although I wish I had that tool. There we go. It's a good old hammer. Alright, now we can grab the pin from the back side, holding that shoe. We do have our spring and star wheel at the bottom here, probably will want to remove that now. There we go. Now we can get the spring off the side. Oh, and things are just coming on. Bottom spring out. That's a tight one. Okay, star wheel out. Remember, wheel was to the right, the piece that goes onto it, just like that. Our plungers came out of the wheel cylinder, that's how shot it was. Okay. And sure, that's one way to remove it. Sure. Oh, there's a spring on the side too. Man, lots and lots of springs. Okay, brake line disconnected, 2 bolts removed. This wheel cylinder should pop right out, but it's probably going to be a bit stuck. So let's take our pry bar. There we go. And there she goes. So yeah, this one was destroyed, and this was giving me all my brake issues. Okay, on the passenger side here, let's start installing. I've done the driver's side, so I kind of have an idea of what's going on now. So this should go a lot quicker than the driver's side went for me. Let's start with our new shoes. So there's 2 different shoes. There's a front and a back. And I've read the one that's thicker or has more material goes in the back. That's this one. So we're gonna put that one on the back side. Let's do the front shoe first because it'll be easier. And of course you can match it with the ones that came out. So here was my back one. Big on the back. Just like we said. Okay, taking the long pin. I don't know if it's all C10s have a long pin, or if it's the bigger brake pad ones that do, or bigger drum one that does. That's mine. Mine's the 2 3/4 one. So gonna fit the front brake pad in. Taking my green spring with the top. Put that over. Now push it on through. So we take this one. Don't forget to put the long pin in. Okay. And again, we line it up with the same hole. Then we take this piece and fit it in. It only fits one way, so it'll be pretty obvious. Okay, use my thumb to hold it. Okay, we take the seat here with the yellow spring and fit it in. Once you're in both holes, we can get our top piece on. Using my thumb to hold it. Take our tool. There we go. We're in. So much easier with this tool. First off, we have our holder thing. That goes in first. Okay, it's gonna go like that. Now we're gonna take this, and it loops in just like that. But so let's stick it into the hole over here on the left side. And now we take our black spring. We're going to place it into the hole here. And this has to go to this loop. There we go. There we go. That spring is a fight. Okay, so we have, I believe, everything we have in up top. Now just the bottom. What I'm going to do is put this in first. So this wheel side goes towards the back on the passenger side. Driver's side, it was towards the front. Mirror image. And you can tell because the adjuster here, the lever is kind of in the way. So let's make some room first. Spread the pads out for the shoes. There we go. There we go. Come on down. And now it's together. So we have one final spring. This is our green spring. And so the part that goes behind and hooks out, that goes on the adjuster side. There's a hole here somewhere that I can't really see. Okay, got it in. Now we just need to pull this forward into there. There we go. That went in. Just gonna double check it's in. Oh, there we go. Now it's in all the way. And for a shot of what it looks like all assembled, top piece, 2 pins in the wheel cylinder, spring on the side that doesn't have the parking brake, green spring on the side that doesn't have the parking brake, yellow for the parking brake, no spring here. We got our black spring, E-clip up there, little spring here, green spring in the middle, and then our star wheel. So working on removing the rubber brake line here, and there's no clip here, even though there should be. This fitting is stuck. I got the 2 loose that go to the connection here, and then the bolt that holds it to the bracket. That's all good, but this one that goes from the hard line to the rubber is stuck. I think I'm gonna end up snapping it. Now, if I needed to drive this car like tomorrow, I would just stop because it was working. But because we are going to be doing a bit of a road trip in this, I really should get this replaced. So I'm going to go ahead, do what I need to do to snap this off. We might end up needing to buy a whole new line all the way across, unless I can get a connection or a fitting, but we might just end up buying a line that goes from the front to the back. Went ahead and painted the brake drums just because, but it looks good. Got both sides done. They're dry now, So now we have to tackle the brake line that snapped on us. So I picked up a kit of for flaring and whatnot, making my own brake lines, and then this is some 1/4 inch Nycop brake line with some fittings. Hopefully we should be able to assemble something here. So some good news. The first fitting I grabbed to test works. So we do have the right fitting size. So we have two options here. One is kind of the correct fits, and the other one is the least invasive. But it should still be just as safe. So this line goes all the way to the front, just before the front cross member, and there's a union up there. The right thing to do would be to replace this entire line. It's a straight shot inside the frame rail. Replace it at the union all the way back here. Now, I've never made my own brake lines, never done flares, whatnot, so this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve. The least invasive would be to cut it somewhere over here, and then I don't have to run an entire line all the way here and then get here. You only have so many tries to do it before you mess up too many times where you scrap the whole line, basically. I removed some of that protective shielding stuff, and we're gonna cut this off in a straight section here. Okay, there we go. Nice clean cut. Okay, so now we just need it to go from here to there. However, I think if I had a bender, I could get it in. Yep, I could totally get it in. So let's try our hand at flaring this, because if we can do it, I can just bend that, loosen that bracket, and this would work. So this tool comes with the washer right here. I took it off. With the washer, the line was actually just pushing through as I tightened. It wasn't actually doing anything to the line. So with the washer removed, now we can get a good seal on it. I've already tested this out. So we'll take our die here and measure it up to the right size. Okay, it's important to go all the way around, make sure we're good and nice and even everywhere. Now I'm going to use a screwdriver to tighten it just a little bit more. This will help ensure that it won't slip. Now we can place our die right inside. We're lined up now, and now we'll tighten it. And if you have it clamped down properly, it's pretty tight. It's way tighter than I thought it would be. There, now we bottomed out. Loosen that up. We got a nice bubble there. And then we'll go over it one more time to get the double. Now this one, you really have to make sure you line it up and you center it in there. That seems good. And again, tighten it down. Well, I managed to get a successful fitting after like 3 tries. Finally got it. Now I did unbolt it from the bracket there to give it some more slack. Once this axle hangs down, I'm sure it's gonna need it. Turns out I was able to bend this by hand. This is NICOP or copper brake line with a little bit of nickel in it, and it is bendable by hand. You just can't bend it a ton. So what I did was, there was a section where it kind of goes around something. Well, I just straightened that out. That gave me more length. We unbolted it from up here, and then I start the turn in early, and there we go, we're in. Now there's supposed to be a clip that locks this into place. It wasn't here previously, so I just put it back as is. So it kind of falls out of place on its own. I could line it up, but it's gonna fall anyways. But that's fine, because like this, it's gonna be perfectly fine, especially since I've been driving it just fine without a clip. So as you see, I did bend it a little sharper here, but again, it's perfectly fine. We didn't kink it at all, and I got the protective shielding just in case it wants to rub, but it shouldn't. We should be good. So now we've rebuilt the drum brakes, fixed the brake line, and we have a new rubber line. The rear is completely good. We are good. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.